Yes then lads, it's what's in the bag for the 2025 season and a little bit of an update to say the least. We've got a couple of new clubs in the bag, one even on their way, and honestly I'm so excited to see what the 2025 season holds. Hopefully down to scratch, that is the target. I'm currently off 4, so let's see if it happens and let's see what weapons I've got in the bag to make that happen. Now we're going to start off with one of the most important sticks. That's right, the flat stick. And this is a change from my last what's in the bag. Before, I had a Newport 2 Jet Set Black. Honestly, still got that putter, love it, never gonna get rid of it. However, I did purchase a new one. I just felt like I needed something with a bit more confidence, and that's exactly why I went for the button back. And I even went for the Champion's Choice, lovely copper insert, so it's nice and soft. And it just feels a lot bigger behind the club. Very similar to a Newport 2, just got a bit more beef to it. And I'll be honest, it's really helping me on the longer putts, which is what it's all about. So I have to say, absolutely loving it. It's been great so far. I have extended it slightly and I've got a nice little pistol grip Scotty Cameron grip on it, and boys, it's been a game changer. I never go anywhere else other than Scotty Cameron for putters, and I'm always sticking to my blades. But I just feel like my putting and my long putting got a bit, it was a bit inconsistent and just a lack of confidence. So this has been an absolute game changer in winter. Hopefully it'll be an absolute game changer over summer. So the next slight club change is to do my wedges. Now, if you haven't already seen my review on the Opus wedges, I absolutely love them. They're amazing. I've currently got one normal Opus wedge in the 50 degree, 10 bounce S grind. I've then also got a 56, which is the platinum with that bit of heavy tungsten at the top. Meant to help the ball come out a bit lower and spinnier. I have to say, I love it, but I'm now actually gonna change my 60 degree. This, even though it's been amazing on long shots, like genuine approach game's been class, around the greens, I've really struggled with it. It's because I originally thought the Z grind was going to come out very similar to how the S grind does. I don't want much bounce on my 60, and I've only got 8 degrees bounce here. But there's this sort of, with this grind, there's this sort of lip. And ideally, I wanted, for me, I'm quite a confident chipper. I don't want any big lip on my wedge. Really, I don't need too much assistance, especially around the greens. If anything with this club, I want it to really get under the ball so I can elevate it as quickly as possible. I just felt like the grind hasn't done this. So I've got a 60 Opus Tour grind 6 bounce on the way. So I'll actually have 2 of these in the bag as of a couple of weeks time and going into the summer season. And yeah, I'll just have the one platinum, which is going to be in the sand wedge, which is quite nice because from 100 yards, it means I can absolutely pin in these low little zippers, which is what it's all about. But that's what I've gone for on the wedges. As usual, I've actually got the same shafts as my irons, which we'll go on to now, and just classic multi-compound grips in those. By the way, is there any clubs you think I should be trying and definitely changing this season? Are there clubs you've got in your bag that you think are amazing? Please let me know in the comments. I'm eager to hear what people have got, and as always, I want to see if I can update and make the bag even better. So when it comes to irons, no real change at all, and I don't think there's ever going to be a change anytime soon. These irons, since I purchased them, are just absolutely pure. I love them. In terms of heads, we've got the Callaway Apex TCB. John Ram was using these. I don't know if he still uses them, but was using these for a good couple of years, and they're lovely, man. They're actually, do you know what? They're surprisingly quite small by the ball than I would actually expect. When I look down on them, I actually think they remind me very much of like a blade, but obviously they've then just got that bit of, I think it's tungsten, a bit of just support at the back. Very similar to the old Mizuno MP59s I used to have in 2013, 2014. And yeah, I just can't see me changing them. I think the heads are sweet, and I've always been hitting them well. The shafts, exactly the same as the wedges, are Dynamic Gold X7s. So these are probably the heaviest iron shaft you're ever going to get and the stiffest, and they've been just revolutionary for me. Keeping the ball down, having more control with spin, they've been amazing. They just feel so good in my hand. I previously had Project X 6.5s a few years ago, and yeah, changing to these has just been an absolute game changer. They just feel so solid, and yeah, even in our irons, I actually had them pured. They came with them, and it just means that basically they put them in a machine and make sure they're perfectly round, and so on and so forth, so they perform as good as possible. Not essential, but kind of useful if you can get it. Now I've actually got slightly thicker grips on my irons. I like normal, well, I always have a bit of extra tape if I have a standard grip, but I don't want my grips to be as thick on my wedges because that's, you know, I really want to get my hands through and have not really optimize my feel. But when it comes to longer shots, especially with my irons, it's nice to have that just bit of extra thickness. So I've got a multi-compound +4 standard, but I've got 2 wraps of tape under that. So they do come out a little bit thicker. I do just think like mid-size for me is just a bit too much, but something in between is absolutely spot on. So I've got those from pitch and wedge all the way to 4 iron. Now I do actually have a 3 iron. However, that has been swapped out in the last 6 months for the prolific 1 iron. Honestly, this baby, me and it just have a romantic relationship. It is just an absolute creation. My main man, Ben, from Benny's Golf Store, absolutely sorted me out. We actually custom made this. So it's got an X7 in it, same as my irons. We actually gone for just a standard grip. It's still got an extra wrap of tape. Actually, it's coming out at mid-size, but that actually feels it doesn't feel actually too thick. It's actually a good job it is because the head is quite a forgiving head, which is why a lot of people comment on my shots this and go, why has it gone so high? Well, because I've got a Titleist U505 head. By the way, my first ever Titleist club in the bag. Always a Callaway man, but this had to go in. Basically, it is quite thick. It does give you a good bit of forgiveness, which is kind of probably what you need for a 1 iron, but honestly, this thing absolutely flies. And because it's got a little bit of offset on the head, it's got a bit of a tendency to get a draw. So that bit of extra grip thickness really helps me make sure I keep it straight. Final bit is normally these come at like 17 degrees, but it's actually been bent to 15. So this is the equivalent to probably everyone else's freewood. Honestly, just so nice to have a club or an iron you can hit off the tee and just be like, this can still go 300 yards. Mad, love it. This ain't gonna go outside the bag anytime soon. Love that club. Now, going on to a big change. Towards the end of the 2024 season, I had a 5-wood in the bag, but now I've got my version of a mini driver. That's right, I'm playing 2 drivers this year. Reason being is I feel like if I use a typical one of my long drivers that I kind of like using because they're an absolute weapon on the course, I always tend to hit a bit of a fade with these. Like, because it's so long, it's hard to really just have a nice draw on tap. So I wanted a driver where, especially in winter when I'm like stiff on the tee, don't want to feel like I have to move this big 47-inch club. I kind of wanted something that was just easy to hit. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to build me a mini driver. Again, from Benny's Golf Store, we came up with a 10.5 AI Smoke triple diamond head. The actual, you know, before my standard driver would have been like 7 degrees. Having a 10.5 degree head is actually so nice. Like I can tee it down and I just feel like I swing it. I don't have to swing it too much like a long drive swing. It almost feels like an iron swing, and it tends to come out with a bit of a draw, which is nice, which means I can still stay aggressive on holes that are right to left, rather than just having a driver where I only hit a fade. I've then got a Dealer Rogue 2nd gen silver 70x shaft. Quite a stiff shaft, very stable. I love these shafts. I think they're class. I haven't changed it in years. I've tried literally all of your Velocore, you know, shafts that are going out nowadays. Everyone seems to be using the Ventus, but I've always stuck with this. I just think it's better in terms of spin rate and it just feels good. It is slightly shorter. This is about 43.75, just under 44. Your average driver is 45, so it's just a little bit shorter than most people's standard driver. All of my clubs are ½ an inch longer, by the way, just because I do stand at 6'2", so a bit longer is just nice and comfortable for me. So this actually comes out quite short for me. And again, it just feels pure. I'm loving it so far. It's just so comfortable to have and it's still flying. And when I have got like greens that are like 330, 340, and I still want to go for the green, but 1 iron's not going to get there, you know, long driver, which I'm going to go on to next, is a bit too long or a bit too sporadic. This is the absolute go-to. And do you know what? I can still hit it off the deck. Love that. So that's one of the big changes. I'm still using, I've got 2 long draw drivers. I am going to talk through my setup for my competitions this summer, but in terms of on the course, I am now carrying, I'm still carrying the Epic Speed long driving head. Now this is actually set up as standard, so it's 5 degrees, all right? It's 47 inches, but I've got a Kinex Velocity LD50 shaft, so bit heavier, a bit stiffer than the shaft I'm going to show you, my long driver. And just the aim for this is something I'm going to use in long drive competitions for just trying to hit the grids, if I'm honest. Like, it's a bit stiffer, it controls the spin a bit better, you know, and I know I can hit the grid with it no matter what I've got, all right? All of my drivers at the moment, I'm loving the Crossline 360 or Genesis lambkin grips. Like, they just come out so sticky and quite thick. So you'll notice that all of my woods at the moment have these. I think they feel better than a multi-compound when it comes to grippiness with, you know, just really ripping it. And yeah, they've been amazing. So this is, that's what I'm currently having. And yeah, sort of not of a big change there, just a bit of a change in shaft compared to last time. Now, what I have got for my long drive setup is a brand new Paradigm head. Now, these have been out for a couple of years, but I really wanted to update the head compared to the Epic Speed. The Epic Speed is good, but the Paradigm heads are a little bit quicker, bit thinner face, comes out a bit hotter, and I just thought, you know what, going into the long drive season, I needed to be equipped with the best I can. We've actually got, this one's actually a 4.45 degree head. I've got it set up at 2.5, so really not too much loft at all. In terms of shaft, again, a Kinect shaft with a hypersonic D10. So you're talking about literally 15 to 20 grams lighter than the other shaft I've got, and just a lot more flexible. I mean, literally, look at the thing wobble. Like, it's not actually, still not probably the most flexible shaft you'll see on long drive competitions, but still feels nice and flexible to hit and absolutely smash. And again, same thing with the Crossline 360 lambkin grip. Just feels absolutely money. So that's mainly the club changes. I'm still using my Titleist Pro V1 X left dash. That ball will never change. It just feels so good, flies well, and it's good around the greens. I'm still using, glove-wise, I tend to use the Titleist One Players Flex. I have to have a flexible glove, otherwise I just rip them so much. I mean, but the amount I'm hitting balls, this is what tends to happen. All of the, you know, all of the long drive sessions, all of the speed sessions, the thumb is the first thing that goes. There just seems to be a lot of force going through there. So we've still got those. And yeah, that is the bag for 2025 and an updated version. Honestly, I can't wait to see how the two drivers goes. So far, it's been amazing. It just feels comfortable, like having so much options off the tee. And with the fact that I can hit the ball quite far, you know, realistically I need options, because I know if I'm going to hit the ball well off the tee, I'm actually not going to need too much in on most courses. So for me, having just them options, feeling comfortable, having something I can always fall back on that's just a bit easier to hit than a 47-inch 5-degree driver, I think it's just a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit of a confidence game for me, and so far it's working out pretty well. So we'll do another what's in the bag in 4 months' time, hopefully in the middle of the season, middle of summer, and we'll see if I stuck to my word and didn't change too much. The issue is I've got a mate who just has all the clubs in the world, and he just gets me involved, and I'm like, no, stay away. I don't need to change my bag. Yeah, we'll do a video in 4 months' time and see if actually I stuck to my word, eh? So look, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you're looking to make some modifications to your bag. Clubs are always exciting. I like to keep certain things solid, but it's nice to play around. Even though we talked about clubs today, remember, the number one thing that's always going to make your game better is your ability to hit the ball. So make sure you go out getting some lessons at the same time as spending money on your clubs and your clubber. Have a great day. Hope you found that video useful. Destroy the like button if you did, and on to the next.